Welcome to the first ever G Money Sports NFL Pick'em Show. My name is Grant. If you're not familiar with me, for my other material, I run G Money Sports. It's basically a Twitter page, Facebook group. I run a blog, and then also this YouTube page. It's basically just I cover everything in the sports world. I put out weekly gambling cards for football. I will do other sports when we get into those seasons. But right now, obviously, football is king. I love NFL. NFL has always been my number one passion. So it's definitely the thing I care about the most and will probably put the most time into. Love the NFL season. There's nothing better in the world than NFL Sunday. Nothing better than sitting down at 12 o'clock on a Sunday, knowing that you're going to be watching football for the next 10 and a half hours. I love everything about NFL. I have 10 fantasy teams this year, which got a little out of hand, but it's a lot of fun. And in terms of betting NFL, love betting NFL. The lines are really good. One thing I really about like the NFL is it's so well covered by reporters that you know who's playing, you know all the players in every team if you follow along, and it's just a really transparent sport. It's fun to bet. It's fun to watch the games, and yeah, we'll get right into it. Today I'm wearing my G Money Sports shirts. Shout out to P&M Apparel, and special shout out to Ryan for helping me design these shirts and getting them out. We sold about 50 to 60 on the first order, and we've got new merch coming soon. I won't give away exactly what it is yet, but I'm really excited for it. So we'll get into these picks. Week one's going to be really a lot of fun. There's a lot of good matchups week one. It's kind of a smaller card than I normally do, and mainly the reason is week one, a lot of new teams, a lot of new situations. So you kind of get a feel of what the teams are going to look like. But I still have quite a few good picks here to give out to you guys. So we're going to start with one of my favorite picks of the week. Ever since this line came out, I don't understand why it's so low, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals Minnesota Vikings over 47.5. Both these teams had really bad defenses last year, and when Joe Burrow was on the field last year, Cincinnati was one of the highest scoring teams in the NFL. They don't run the ball a lot. It's going to be up and down passing attack. And on the other side of the ball, Minnesota, if you guys remember last year on week one, they played in like a 45-36 game against the Packers, put up like 80 points, and honestly, you can see something very similar. I think both these defenses are still pretty bad, and I think both offenses are going to be some of the more lethal offenses this year. Over 47.5, love it. First pick on the card. Moving on to the Ravens and Raiders Monday night game. Ravens are -4.5 favorites. I really like this play, and then the Ravens decided I don't know, they need to hire new turf management, I guess, for their practice field because three running backs have now suffered season-ending injuries, and also their starting cornerback Marcus Peters. I liked it a lot more before all those injuries, but I still like it -4.5. The Raiders' offensive line got gutted. It used to be the strength of their team. They're replacing like 3 or 4 guys, which is really hard to do in the NFL, especially in the O-line position. That there's a lot of spots, but not a lot of good players to play there. So I think they are going to struggle this year. I think the Raiders will be one of the teams that takes a step back as opposed to a step forward. I think the Ravens still have a really good offensive line. You got Lamar Jackson. Whoever plays running back is, obviously the second fiddle in the run game. So I don't think it has a huge impact. The receivers gotten better. He added Sammy Watkins. He's got Mark Andrews healthy. And then on defense, I think the Ravens are always solid. I'll probably shut down the Raiders week one. I like the 4.5 line. I could see it. The only thing that has me really worried is, like I said, those injuries, and then also first game in Raiders Stadium with a full crowd. It's going to be pretty electric in there, especially in like primetime game. So maybe don't expect the Ravens to come out and bury them right away, but I think the running tackle Lamar Jackson is going to wear it on the defense that isn't very good. I think they're going to get it done in that -4.5 number. So moving on, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles, Atlanta Falcons. Over 48 is the play that I like on this game. Philly and Atlanta, no secret here. They're both teams that are kind of underperforming to where their rosters are. Atlanta is a very high-powered offense, as I saw last year. They put up points, and they don't have a very good defense, which is great for overs. Eagles, I'm not super high on the offense this year, but I know the defense isn't very good. Their secondary's been a problem forever. And Matt Ryan tears them up. They put up at least 35, and I expect Philly to put up at least 2 touchdowns. And Jalen Hurts, for not being a very good, accurate quarterback, is pretty electric, and he has good wheels. So I think his mobility will help them score enough to cover that over. Moving on to one of my favorite plays of the week. Got 49ers in Detroit. People kind of forgot about the 49ers last year with all the injuries. Kind of just wrote them off because their entire team was basically hurt, and which is fair. But now they're returning everybody, and they even added some pieces that I really like. And unfortunately for Detroit, I really like their coach Dan Campbell. He's a great interviewer. I think he is going to be good for the team in the long run, just not this year. The roster is not where it needs to be. So 7.5 is the line for week 1. I expect 49ers to win by at least 14. So I'd take it up to 9.5 probably. So I'd probably cut that off. But 7.5, I love it. I think 49ers are going to run the ball down Detroit's throats. 49ers bring back all those defensive linemen that 2 years ago in the Super Bowl wreaked havoc on the entire NFL. 49ers minus 7.5. I feel like this will be a pretty easy cover. Moving on to kind of a homer pick. My philosophy as a sports bettor is I have teams that I root for, but I only bet on them if I love the lines. And in fairness to myself, I actually tend to stay away from teams that I like because I just like watching the games. But when I see a line like New England minus 2.5 against Miami, I can't stay away from it. I love the Patriots this year so much. As a big Patriots fan, obviously I follow along with the team a lot. It's the most money Bill Belichick spent in any offseason by so far. Bringing in that two tight end system with Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, I think it's going to be huge for Mac Jones. Expect 25 targets to the 2 tight ends put together. They added some talent on the outside, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar. Not like super high star value guys, but solid guys that are going to help on the outside that bring speed and deep threat ability that we were kind of lacking last year. And then bring back everyone on defense. Oh my gosh. We had about 6 or 7 guys that sat out last year, by far the most of any team in the NFL. And we still had a really good defense. And then we add Matthew Judon, Jalen Mills. This team is a dark horse playoff team and a dark horse. I can see them making an AFC conference title game based on defense and running the ball. Their offensive line's not talked about enough, is maybe the best in the NFL when they're healthy. And they're coming into the season at full strength. I really like Mac Jones. He's nothing that's going to blow your mind away or be something you've never seen before. But in the preseason, he did a really good job of reading defenses and making the right throws and staying on schedule, not turning the ball over, all things you want to see from a franchise quarterback. All that being said, I think the exact opposite of Miami. I think last year was kind of a fluke year. Excuse me. I really like Brian Flores as a coach. I just think they had the number 1 turnover margin in the NFL last year, and I don't think that's sustainable over a year. As you saw a couple years ago with the Bears, they had the number 1 turnover margin, and the following year their defense regressed because they weren't getting. It's not sustainable to get that many turnovers. Also, they haven't really added to the offensive line to protect Tua. They went with Jalen Waddle in the first round, which I can't fault because they did need weapons as well. But the offensive line was a big problem last year. Tua didn't have a lot of time. I've heard he's gotten more comfortable in the offense, but there's all these rumors about Miami trying to get other guys. So how much do they really like him? It sounds like not that much. New England 2.5 at home, week 1 in Gillette. I don't see any way that New England does not cover that spread. And along with that, I have a second play in this game. Damian Harris is going to be our lead back this year. I know the Patriots usually do committee, but I think Bill Belichick showed a lot by trading away Sony Michel preseason. So I think he goes over his rushing prop at 58.5 yards rushing. Expect him to get at least 20, 25 carries as long as he converts that at about 3 yards per carry. he'll cover the 58.5. So yeah, I really like both plays there, and yeah, go Pats. While we're on the subject of the Pats, I'll show you the shirt I just bought. Mac Jones, QB1 of the future. Remember the name. It's gonna be elite someday. Maybe this year. I don't know. I've high hopes for his future. Moving on to the Kansas City Chiefs. They play the Cleveland Browns week 1 at home. They are giving away 6.5 points, full game, and 3.5 in the first half. I like them on both the first half line and the full game line, so both are going to go on my card. The Browns are good, but if you remember that playoff game last year, the Chiefs had them handled the entire game, and then Patrick Mahomes went down, and then Chad Henne had to come save the season. But even then, I think the Chiefs match up really well. The one thing the Browns have is their pass rush on defense to stop Mahomes. What the Chiefs do, they completely rebuilt their offensive line with studs. They have studs all across the offensive line, brought in a lot of good quality guys. Joe Thuney was a huge signing, former Patriot, really good guard. Making their trade for Orlando Brown. I think this team was the only weakness last year was their offensive line. Completely revamping that, they're going to be insane this year. I'm really nervous that the Chiefs are just going to dominate the NFL this year. And I'm going to hop on this line when it's less than a touchdown for the full game. And 3.5 first half. I both think they're easy bets. In Arrowhead, week 1, they're not going to not cover the spread. Sorry, Browns fans. I think you will have a good year, but not week 1. Moving on, we got Jacksonville versus Houston. Trevor Lawrence's first game as a Jag. I don't have high hopes for the Jaguars this year, but the low expectations of the Jaguars are a lot higher than the expectations I have for the Houston Texans. Houston Texans, man, they are going to be bad this year. I think this might be the first 0-17 team of all time. Their roster is so bad. So bad. And to make things worse, they've been trading away players because before, when Bill O'Brien was the GM, he traded away all their draft capital, so they're trying to get some of that back so they can build because they know their roster's not where it needs to be. Got Tyrod Taylor starting week 1. Yeah, I mean, we know we're getting Tyrod Taylor. He's not that good of a quarterback. Don't have a good offensive line to protect him. They don't have good weapons. He can be a decent quarterback when he's in a good spot with good offensive line, good weapons, but he has neither. Expect him to get benched or hurt pretty soon here, and then throw in Davis Mills, rookie quarterback, see what he has. Like I said, I don't have a very high hopes for Houston this year. So Jags minus 2.5 week 1. I think Trevor Lawrence has enough around him where they're going to be decent, not great. Probably similar to what we saw with the Bengals last year. They're going to win some games. They're going to be in a lot of games. And I think they're going to beat teams that are inferior like the Houston Texans. So I think the Jags minus 2.5 week 1. My another play I have is the Green Bay Packers, who are playing the New Orleans Saints week 1. Unfortunately, with the hurricane, Saints had to relocate the game to Jacksonville. I think that's going to have a huge impact on this game. Betting against a team going into the Mercedes-Benz Dome, which is now the Caesars Superdome, has always been a risky move, just because they have maybe the best home field advantage of all of football. You move this game to Jacksonville, they're getting a new quarterback. Michael Thomas is out. Marshawn Lattimore, the starting cornerback stud, he's out. I don't see them covering against Green Bay. Green Bay is only giving up 4 points. I think that's really low, really generous to New Orleans based on kind of their history. I think they're getting a little bit more respect than they deserve. Love Jameis Winston. I actually think he's going to have a really good year. He's going to prove a lot of his doubters wrong. I think he's a good quarterback. I think as much as people want to joke about the eyesight and getting LASIK, I actually think that's going to help him a lot. He said for the first time he can see linebackers, which is a mind-boggling thing to say. But yeah, Green Bay got the -4 for the full game. Really like that. And I also got Green Bay -3 first half. I think they're going to roll through New Orleans, and I think Aaron Rodgers is pissed off and ready to go on his revenge tour against his own team. I think he's going to come out really motivated this year and going to light the league on fire. The entire team wants to win for Aaron. and I think that's going to result in a really good year for Packers fans. They right now would be my pick to make the Super Bowl for the NFC, especially after watching the Tampa Bay game tonight. I think Tampa Bay has a lot of holes on the secondary, and they got like 3 more injuries tonight. We'll see how they hold up. But I like the Packers this year a lot. They were really close last year. I think this might be the year they do it, especially in Aaron Rodgers. What a lot of people are assuming going to be his last year. So -4 for the full game, -3 for first half. And my last play, this is going to be my lock of the week, so get excited for that. This is going to be, when I was putting this together, I was thinking of something fun for week 1, something to get people engaged watching all the games. So I took a game from noon, a game from the 3:30 slate, and a game, the Sunday night game, made a money line parlay. So I have for the noon slate, I got the 49ers. I already have them -7.5, but I'm going to add their money line to this parlay. And then for the 3:30, I have Kansas City. And then for the night game, I got the Rams. So that 3-team money line parlay is going to pay you about +130. Not crazy by any means, but I think all those are going to be easy wins. And for week 1, that's going to be a pretty easy lock and get you guys going and hitting bets week 1. So thank you guys for watching this video. I'm really excited for the NFL. Hope you all are too. It's been a long wait since whatever it was February 5th when the Super Bowl occurred, or somewhere around there. But it's always such a long wait, and it's finally here, and I couldn't be more excited. Excited to share this content with you guys and interact with you and continue this all season. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Big thing is subscribing. Subscribers kind of run this YouTube platform, so as many subscribers as I can get would be awesome. Really appreciate you guys supporting me, and yeah, have a good weekend. Enjoy week 1. It's the best weekend of the year, and go Pats.